Good morning, Storytime friends. Little Red Riding Hood here, and I'm welcoming everyone to Charlestown Library's regular Monday morning story time. Now, as usual, Mr. Brian will be monitoring our page, so give us a shout out and let us know that you're listening. And also feel free to share this with all of your Facebook friends, anywhere they may be. Let's get started with our Let's Take a Break rhyme. Here we go. Let's take a break from our shake, and a wave hello to you. I'm gonna miss your kiss, but my smile will still shine through. We've got to shrug instead of hug. Still I send my love so true. Love to all of our Storytime friends that are out there listening. Now, just before we get started, I want to remind you it's not too late to sign up for summer reading at the Charlestown Library. It's all done online, and all you have to do is go to our website, ctlibrary.org. There you'll find the forms for registering and also for logging your weekly minutes. Now, those of you who've already turned in some reading logs, your prizes are waiting at the Charlestown Library. Right now, we're only doing porch pickup, but if you come by the library between 10 and 3, give us a call and let us know that you're out front. We'll bring your prizes out to you on the porch. So if you've done one log, you get a tattoo and a bookmark. If you've done 2 reading logs, then you get the fireworks glasses just in time for 4th of July. So I encourage all of you to do that. If you can't pick them up this week, that's okay. We'll hold them for you and you can pick them up as the summer goes along. So let's everyone have a seat. We'll sing the Storytime song and get started with our stories. Here we go. Story time, gather round. We find a seat in a cozy nook. We open the pages and take a look, 'cause you never know what you'll find in a book at story time. Thank you for joining in with me on that. All right, our very first book is called The Little Red Riding Hood, and this is retold and illustrated by Jerry Pinkney. He's one of my favorite illustrators. Little Red Riding Hood. In a small cottage, there lived a sweet little girl and her dear mother, who once made for her daughter a lovely red riding hood. The child cherished it and wore it everywhere, so that all in the village affectionately called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, Mother cooked some delicious chicken soup and raisin muffins. "Your grandmother is not well today," she told her daughter as she packed the warm treats. "Go see how she is faring. Mind you, little miss," she instructed, "be certain to go straight there." Little Red Riding Hood set out at once. The gentle sounds of the child's footsteps in the new snow, crunch, crunch, kept her company. "Oh, how peaceful," she thought, catching a snowflake on the tip of her tongue. "I wonder if Grandma will be surprised to see me." By and by, Little Red Riding Hood met a sly wolf. The wolf, who was always hungry, had a mind to eat her up at once, but he thought better of it when he heard the chop, chop, chop of woodcutters working nearby. Do you see them in the background, boys and girls? There they are. "Where are you going, little one?" he asked in his most pleasant voice. "My grandmother is not well today," Little Red Riding Hood replied, forgetting that her mother did not want her to delay. "I'm taking her some chicken soup and some raisin muffins." The clever creature smiled. "Does she live far from here?" he asked. "No," said Little Red Riding Hood. "Just behind the mill, across from the pond, next to the big oak tree." I'll join you, for I was just heading that way, said the wolf. He walked along with the child for a short distance, and then he had an idea. Why not collect kindling for a fire? He suggested. It will warm your granny's heart. That's a wonderful idea, said the child. Look, the snow has brought down many small branches. They will make a good fire. Little Red Riding Hood gathered as many twigs as she could carry, tying the bundle with the ribbon that had fastened her grandmother's basket. And where's the wolf going? Yeah, he's running off into the woods. In the meantime, the cunning wolf slipped away to grandmother's cottage with great haste. Tap, tap, he knocked. Who's there? Asked grandmother in a frail voice. It's me, your granddaughter, replied the crafty scoundrel, doing his very best to sound like a young girl. The door is unlocked, grandmother replied. Just lift the latch. Once inside, the wolf leaped upon the startled woman and gobbled her down whole. And then he shut the door and dressed himself in one of grandmother's nightgowns. After struggling to get her cap down over his ears, the wolf, who was still quite hungry, settled into the bed to wait for his next meal. Who's that supposed to be, boys and girls? That's right, Little Red. Before long, Little Red Riding Hood arrived at the college. Tap, tap, she knocked. Who's there? Cried the wolf. The girl was startled by the hoarseness of grandmother's voice. It's me, your granddaughter, she responded. I've brought you soup and Mama's special raisin muffins, and I found kindling to start a fire. Soon you'll feel just like yourself again. Just lift the latch and come in, the voice invited her. I can't wait to see how much you've grown. The little girl opened the door and closed it gently behind her. The wolf lay in bed with the sheets right up to his whiskers and grandmother's nightcap pulled as low as he could manage. Put your basket on the chair and come closer, he said sweetly as he smiled. You're a head taller since I saw you last. Little Red Riding Hood, anxious about grandmother's poor health, went right to her bedside. Oh, Grandmama, what great arms you have, said the child in wonder. All the better to hug you with, my dear, replied the wolf. Oh, Grandmama, what great ears you have, said Little Red. All the better to hear you with, my dear, the wolf responded. Oh, Grandmama, what great eyes you have, the girl cried out. All the better to see you with, declared the wolf. Oh, Grandmama, what great teeth you have, she squealed. All the better to eat you with, my dear, howled the wolf. And with those awful words, the wolf leaped out from under the covers, sprang upon Little Red Riding Hood, and swallowed her whole. Now, said the wolf with a satisfied sigh, a long nap is all I need after such a full meal. And so he climbed back into bed and fell asleep. The wretched creature snored so loudly that one of the woodcutters, who was passing by the cottage, wondered if something might be wrong with the kindly old woman who lived there. As the man approached her door, he spotted two sets of fresh tracks in the snow. One, that is the track of a small child, he thought. The second set appears to be large paw prints. The woodcutter cautiously entered the cottage and made his way What a noise that rumbled so loudly it caused the china in the cupboard to rattle. Aha, he thought when he found a wolf with a very, very large belly in a deep sleep. Then, to the man's great surprise, the belly stirred. With one stroke of the axe, he killed the wolf, and then he cut open the stomach. Who was there? Out jumped Little Red Riding Hood with a smile as bright as fresh snow. Then out climbed the kindly old woman. Once that she saw that her granddaughter was out of harm's way, her heart was filled with gratitude. Grandmother had never felt better. Later, after the woodcutter had buried the wicked wolf in the deep forest, he returned to warm himself by the fireplace, where Grandmother had started a fire with Little Red Riding Hood's kindling. All three were comforted with Mother's chicken soup and raisin muffins. The sweet raisins reminded the girl of home and of what her mother had told her. As Little Red Riding Hood readied herself to leave, Grandmother said, "Now, little miss, you be certain to go straight home." And she did. And there she is, going home as fast as she can. Oh my goodness, they were extremely lucky that the woodcutter came by, weren't they? Okay, can we turn this book into a song? I think we can. So put your hands together and we're going to clap 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Over the river and through the woods to Grandmother's house I go. I follow the road as I carry my load, a basket of muffins and soup. Oh, over the river and through the wood, my grandmother to see. The wolf will spy, then tell a lie to eat Grandmother and me. Over the river and through the wood, the woodsman comes along. When he passes the door, he hears a snore. Oh, something must be wrong. Up to the doorstep and through the door, the wolf knows what's in store. Grandmother and me, we are set free. The wolf, he is no more. Oh, Grandmother and me, we are set free. The wolf, he is no more. All right, thank you for clapping along with that. I love that book, and I especially like Mr. Pinckney's illustrations. He's such a great artist. Our next book is called Lousy, Rotten, Stinking Grapes by Margie Palatini, and it's illustrated by Barry Moser. Lousy, rotten, stinking grapes. What do you see there? I see a bear and a beaver and a porcupine and a fox and a possum. Oh my goodness, that is quite a plan to get at those grapes, isn't it? All right. Lousy, rotten, stinking grapes. Fox eyed a bunch of tantalizing grapes hanging from a vine growing high on the tree. The problem was, Fox was only so high, and the grapes were so high. "No matter," he said. "I am sly and clever and smart. After all, I am a fox." He made a plan. Add this to that, multiply that to this, subtract here and there, and carry the 2 minus the 1, and voila! Grapes. Hop, skip, jump, flying leap, and no grapes. Fox climbed out from the thicket and brushed off his coat. Perhaps a bit of a boost is needed. But where to get a boost? Grunt, grunt, grunt. Fox turned. He grinned. "Why, Bear, old buddy, I say, do you like grapes?" "Grapes?" said Bear. Do I? I think I do. I think I do. Yup, I do." He's going to get Bear to help him. "Excellent. Look and listen. Here's the plan. explained Fox. You stand here, I will stand on your head there. On the count of three, you give me a boost and voila! Grapes! Bear looked at the plan. He looked at the grapes. He looked at the tree. He stared at his big front paws and thought, you know there, Fox? I'm thinking maybe I could just wrap my paws, interrupted Fox. Bear, 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 my dear dim buddy, your job is brawn, not brain. You leave the thinking to me. After all, I am the fox, sly and clever and smart. I know how to get grapes. Bear shrugged. If you say so. Bear stood there. Fox climbed and stood on top of Bear's head. There, Fox counted. 1, 2, 3, and no grapes. Fox brushed off his coat and straightened his nose. Maybe a little more lift, thrust, and oomph is needed here. Bear shrugged. If you say so. Now, where to find oomph? Pat, slap, pat, slap, pat, slap. Fox peered down to the pond, and he grinned. Who's he going to find at the pond, boys and girls? Why, Beaver, dear pal. I say, do you like grapes? Grapes? Oh, yes, definitely. Indeedy, I do. Excellent. Look and listen. Here's the plan, explained Fox. Bear stands here. You stand on Bear's head there. I stand on your tail, and on the count of three, Bear gives you a boost as you give an oomph, which brings me there, and voila, the grapes. Beaver looked at the plan. He looked at the grapes. He looked at the tree. He tapped his front tooth and thought, Fox, I'm thinking if I just start a-chewing on that tree. Interrupted Fox. Beaver, 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 my dentally challenged chum, you just mind the thing. Leave all that thinking to me. After all, I'm the fox, sly, clever, smart. I know how to get grapes. Beaver shrugged. If you say so. Bear stood there. Beaver stood on Bear's head. And there, Fox stood on Beaver's tail. 1, 2, 3, and ooh, no grapes. Fox climbed out of the brambles. Just need an inch or two more. Scooch. Fox measured this. He weighed that. He turned around and he grinned. Why, Porcupine, you're a short scooch of a fella. Do you like grapes? Grapes? I suppose I do enjoy a grape or two now and then. Excellent! Look and listen. Here's the plan, exclaimed Fox. Bear stands here, Beaver stands there, you stand on Beaver's tail, and I stand on you. And on the count of three, Bear boost as Beaver oomps, while you scooch, which brings me there, and voila, the grapes. Porcupine looked at the plan. He looked up at the grapes. He looked at his back full of quills. Excuse me, Fox, but I have a suggestion. Perhaps if I just point my quills... interrupted Fox. Porcupine, my little friend, let us not get all prickly. You just be a scooch and leave the ideas to me. After all, I am the fox, sly, clever, smart. I know how to get grapes. Porcupine shrugged. If you say so. Bear stood there. Beaver stood on Bear's head there. Porcupine stood on Beaver's tail. Fox stood very carefully on Porcupine's back. 1, 2, 3, and no grapes. Fox rubbed his feet. He pulled a bramble from his tail. He uncurled his whiskers. What might be helpful is a wee catch and swing, said Fox with a pencil and eraser. Yes, catch and swing. That should definitely do it. Beaver looked at Bear, who looked at Porcupine. The three shrugged. If you say so. Fox spied two tiny eyes peeking through a bush. My dear Possum, do you like grapes? Me? Whispered Possum shyly. Why, yes, I do like grapes. Thank you for asking. I like grapes very much. Fox grinned. Excellent. Look and listen. Here's the plan. Bear stands here. Beaver stands on Bear's head. Porcupine stands on Beaver's tail. I stand on Porcupine. You stand on me. So on and so on and so on, etc., which lifts you, whose tail curls around here and then swings back to me, who I end up grabbing here. Voila! The grapes. Possum stared at the grapes. She stared at the branch. She stared at the plan. Pardon me, said Possum, but it all seems so confusing and complicated. Perhaps if I just... interrupted Fox. Possum, my pet, don't worry those few little hairs on your extremely unattractive head. Nothing to fret over and faint dead away. Trust me, my dear. After all, I am the fox. Clever, smart, sly. I know how to get grapes. Possum blinked. If you say so. Bear stood here. Beaver stood there. Porcupine stood on Beaver's tail. Fox stood carefully on Porcupine, and Possum stood on Fox, ready to swing into action. 1, 2, 3, and boost, oomph, swoosh, swing. No grapes. What you doing? Asked Skunk. Blast that bunch of fruit, said Fox, crawling out from under. There is simply no possible way to get those grapes, and that is that. Well, Possum looked at Porcupine, who looked at Beaver, who looked at Bear. I can run up the tree and toss them down, said Possum. I can aim and shoot them down, said Porcupine. I can cut them down, said Beaver. I could give the tree a shake, said Bear. Fox glared. Oh, really? Then why didn't any one of you say something before? Well, Possum spoke up, after all, you are the fox. You are sly, said Porcupine. Clever, said the Beaver. Smart, said Bear. Duh, very smart. Fox turned with a huff and a sniff. Well, do as you wish. I, for one, wouldn't think of eating those lousy, rotten, stinking grapes now, even if I could. They're probably sour anyway. If you say so. Look at that, boys and girls. All of the other animals are enjoying the grapes. Fox just didn't like them because he didn't get his way, did he? He wasn't as smart as he thought. So maybe that's how we should do when we are making a plan with our friends. Let everybody have some input, and that way you'll come up with the easiest plan, not the most difficult one. All right, I'm going to read you another fox story. Everybody has heard of Henny Penny, right? Well, this is a kind of retelling by Jane Wattenberg. Henny Penny. Stormy skies and whirling winds flip-flop down the barnyard. Henny Penny scratched about for a tasty bite to eat when... whack! An acorn smashed Henny Penny right on top of her fine red comb. Chicka-bunga! Squawked Henny Penny in alarm. The sky is falling! It's coming on down! I must run and tell the king! So she ran and ran. That she-hen, she hustled, she hurried, and she bumped right into that he-chicken, Cocky-Locky, a rooster of fine repute. What's clicking, chicken? Barked Cocky-Locky. Shake, rattle, and roll, the sky is falling. It's coming on down. I'm lickety-split to tell the king. Well, Hen Pen, may I flap feathers and fly with you? Dear dumpling, oh do, let's rock it, rooster. And away they raced to tell the king. They zigged and zagged and sped along when they met up with one Ducky Lucky and one Drake Cake. What's buzzin', cousins? Breezed Ducky Lucky and Drake Cake. Shake, rattle, and roll, the sky is falling, it's coming on down. Henny Penny saw it and heard it, and it smacked her on her fine red comb. We're on the move to tell the king, crowed Cocky Locky. Creaky beaks, may we flap along too? Quacked you-know-who. Sure, shake a wing, let's dart, ducks, and away they raced to tell that king. They buzzed down the road straight into that glam gal, Goosey Lucy, and that he-hunk, Gander Lander. What works, birds? Why so flighty? Honked Goosey Lucy and Gander Lander. Shake, rattle, and roll, the sky is falling, it's coming on down. Henny Penny saw it and heard it, and it smacked her on her fine red comb. We're full tilt to tell the king, raved Ducky Lucky and Drake Cake. Great goslings, let's jump, Goose Bump, honked Gander Lander, and away they raced to tell that king. By and by, while on the fly, they blew into Turkey Lurkey. Why the scowl, fowl, gobbled Turkey Lurkey. Shake, rattle, and roll, the sky is falling, it's coming on down. Henny Penny saw it and heard it, and it smacked her on her fine red comb. We're zipping to tell the king, thundered Gander Lander. Broody, snapped Turkey Lurkey, may I flock along? Sure, but don't loiter, Lurkey, let's launch, full throttle, and away they raced to tell that king. There they go, the whole company, Turkey Lurkey, Goose and Gander, Drake, and the goose, and the rooster, Cocky Locky. Pell-mell, and after a spell, they collided with the mean ball of fur, Foxy Loxy. Going bonkers, honkers, out in such foul weather? Foxy Loxy asked. Henny Penny, Cocky Locky, Ducky Lucky, Drake Cake, Lucy Goosey, Gander Lander, and Turkey Lurkey. Shake, rattle, and roll, the sky is falling, it's coming on down. Henny Penny saw it and heard it, and it smacked her on her fine red comb. We're steaming to tell the king, rattled Turkey Lurkey. Oh, murky turkey, drooled Foxy Loxy, but he smiled as though it might not be as beastly bad as all that. Do you fine feathered friends know the fast track to the king? I see all of these signs telling me to go to the king. That's Kingdom Come, BB King, Kingpin, The King, King Tut, Elvis, Kingston, and King Kong. But the fox is going to show him a different way. Turkey Lurkey looked at Gander Lander. Gander Lander looked at Lucy Goosey. Goosey Lucy looked at Drake Cake. Drake Cake looked at Ducky Lucky. Ducky Lucky looked at Cocky Locky. Cocky Locky looked at Henny Penny, who shook her head. No, I don't know the way. Throw in the towel, fowl, thought Foxy Loxy, as he considered the fine dinner coming his way. Oh, looks like a turkey, doesn't it? But with impeccable manners and charming hospitality, he really said, "You're in luck, duck. Looking juicy, Goosey. If you knew you were coming, I'd have baked a cake, Drake. Turkey jerky, Lurkey. Let's meander, Gander, lead the flock, Cock, and so we meet again, Hen. It will be my pleasure to show you the way." Foxy Loxy led them toward a dank, dark cave by the side of a dark, dank riverbank. Turkey Lurkey was the first one in. Into Foxy Loxy's lunchroom. Leaping gizzards, what a skanky prank! For with a gobble, 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 that sly Foxy Loxy wolfed down poor Turkey Lurkey. With a squonk, his squonk, that fleazy Foxy Loxy gobbled up Goosey Lucy and Gander Lander. With a quack, don't look back, that cunning cad Foxy Loxy wolfed down Ducky, Lucky, and Drake Cake. With a cock-a-doodle-doo, what did I do to you? That greedy grunge of a Foxy Loxy gobbled up poor Cocky Locky. But when Henny Penny heard Foxy Loxy crow, she cluck, cluck, clucked. Chicka, 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 bonga! I forgot to lay my egg today. That she-hen, she jumped, she pumped, and she ran as fast as her legs would take her. She never did tell the king the sky was falling. But look at that egg she laid. Wow, I think she was so scared she laid an egg that big. All right, so those were our fox stories. Now I have a short little story called The Three Armadillos Tough. There they are. They're sisters, and this is by Jackie Mims Hopkins, and it's illustrated by S.G. Brooks. The Three Armadillos Tough. Once there were three armadillo sisters by the name of Tough. The smallest was Lily, a humdinger of a gal who really knew how to shake her shell on the dance floor. The middle sister was Jilly, the fashion queen of the family. And the biggest sister was Dilly, who was crazy about chowing down. My, how those three armadillos loved to have a good time. In fact, it was their quest for fun and adventure that got them into trouble one warm summer evening. Oh no. Let's go to that new dance hall on the other side of the highway, suggested Lily. I have a hankering to learn some new steps and kick up my claws. But if we run across the highway, I might chip my nails, complained Jilly, inspecting her freshly painted claw. Or get squashed by an 18-wheeler, Dilly added. Oh, don't be such soft-shell ninnies. We can cut through the big drain pipe that runs under the road. The sisters all agreed that this was a fine idea, so they waddled off toward the highway. By and by, the sisters arrived at the culvert and peered into the long, dark pipe. I'll go first, Lily volunteered bravely. Scratch, 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 scratch. Lily sashayed her way along. Who's that scratching through my tunnel? Growled a voice. It's just me, Lily Armadillo Tough, said the small sister. Come closer, snarled the voice. As Lily stepped forward, she saw a spindly-legged coyote with glowing eyes glaring at her hungrily. Woo-wee, exclaimed Lily, jumping back. She tried to ignore the coyote's fangs. From the looks of those scrawny legs, I'd say you need a workout. What I need, panted the coyote, is a nice hot bowl of armadillo chili. Lily thought fast. My bigger sister is right behind me. She'd make a much better chili than I would. The scraggly coyote scratched behind an ear for a moment. Go on then, she barked. Get! Lily scurried away before the coyote could change her mind. Soon after, the second sister waddled into the tunnel. She was very careful not to let the cobwebs catch in her jewelry. Scratch, 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 scratch. She jangled her way along. Who's that scratching through my tunnel? Growled the coyote. It's just me, Jilly Armadillo Tough, said the middle sister. Come closer, the coyote demanded. As Jilly stepped forward, she saw drool dripping off the tongue of the coyote and onto the critter's grungy coat. Yikes! That slobbery mouth of yours sure needs sprucing up, and from the looks of your mangy old fur, I'd say you need a good soak in the tub. What I need, snapped the coyote, is a nice hot bowl of armadillo chili and some fancy armadillo boots. Oh my. Hold on there, Fleabag. In that case, you'll be wanting my big, and I mean big, sister Dilly. She's on her way right now. Dilly will not only fill you up and make you a fine pair of boots, she might even fetch you a handbag, too. A handbag? The scraggly coyote's eyes grew large, and she stopped drooling. Then she licked her chops. Go on, then. Get! And with that, Jilly skittered out of the tunnel, lickety-split. A few minutes later, the third sister stepped into the tunnel. Scritch, scratch, scritch, scratch. She lumbered her way along. Who's that scritch scratching through my tunnel? Howled the coyote. It's just me, Dilly, Armadilly, Tough, the biggest sister replied. I'm trying to catch up with my sisters. Well, your sisters aren't here, growled the coyote, but they promised you would make me a fine meal, some boots, and a handbag. Who, me? Said Dilly. Why, that's downright ridiculous. I'm no good at cooking or sewing. But I know where we can find ourselves something good to eat and have some fun. With a growl, the coyote stepped out of the shadows, and Dilly got a good long look at her. Mercy! I mean, why, you poor thing. How long has it been since you've had a girls' night out? A what? Said the coyote. You know, a night out on the town with friends. The coyote sniffed. I've always been a loner. I've never had any friends. Well, blast your heart, Dilly cried. We can fix that. Come on, let's go find my sisters. When Jilly and Lily heard the coyote's sad story, the three sisters treated the pitiful critter, whose name, by the way, was Tallulah, to a fluff and puff makeover and a fine meal at the trash cans behind the Chomp and Stomp. Before long, Tallulah was looking fine in her new hair bow, fake leather boots, and a matching handbag. And then it was time to hit the dance floor, where Lily taught them how to do the armadillo shuffle. Oh, they're having a great old time. So, if you ever hear critters digging through the garbage cans or a coyote howling, don't fret. It's just Tallulah and the Armadillo Tough Sisters having a rip-roaring good time. Oh my gosh, that was a good ending to that book, wasn't it? Do you ever hear your trash cans rattling at night? Yeah, sometimes it's not coyotes, but it's raccoons. All right. Well, we've come to the end of our stories for today, so let us do our goodbye songs. Are you ready? The first one is the Cowboy and Cowgirl Goodbye. That's a good one right after the armadillo story. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yeah! Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yeah! Oh, it's time to say goodbye, so give a smile and wink an eye. It's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yeah! Now, before I leave, I want to show you what was in my basket. It wasn't just muffins and soup. Look who else, Mr. Pig was scared of the big bad wolf. And I want to remind you to tune in tomorrow at 10:30 for Mr. Tim's Adventure Story Time. Now let's do our animal goodbye. Here we go. See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. Give a hug, ladybug. Blow a kiss, jellyfish. See you soon, big baboon. Out the door, dinosaur. Take care, polar bear. Wave goodbye, butterfly. Bye-bye, story time, friends, and I will see you again on Thursday afternoon.